Hey, here we are. What is going on? It's Daniel here from duallywheels.com and Signature Performance Tire and Wheel in Costa Mesa, California. Excited to bring you something new, something different, at least a new color for sure. What I got right here is a 2026 Ford F350 dually, obviously. And this is a really cool new color that Ford just released in this. This is what they call Marsh Gray. It's a bit of a charcoal brown, kind of like military looking color. It does have a very slight metallic to it. They do call it Gray Marsh Metallic. It has a very slight metallic color to it. A lot of the color combos with it, with the black and stuff, we'll get into right now because it didn't come that way. But Greg reached out to us. He found us on YouTube, of course. Went to our site, duallywheels.com, picked up the phone and gave me a call. I happened to answer the phone, which was great. And we started talking about this truck that he ordered, that it was coming. He was going to have it within the next week. And Greg has a house here in Irvine, California, not too far from our shop in Costa Mesa. But he also has a house out in Idaho as well. So this truck should be leaving here in about 30 minutes. And as we went through the build, Greg for sure is a car guy. So as we went into this, it was pretty easy to work with him. He's been down this road before, kind of gave me a little bit of free will to pick some products. He knew what wheels and tires he wanted. Suspension, I was able to help dial them in. So we'll start with the meat and potatoes of this thing. So 2026 F350, like I talked about. Suspension, we went with a 2.5-inch ReadyLift kit. We have a couple different versions of this kit. You can get just the coil springs up front. You can add the track bar bracket, which this particular kit has, which would come with a shock extension if you wanted to use your shocks. We typically always upgrade the shocks. In this case, ReadyLift has partnered with Falcon shock, so if you want to dive in there, you can take a peek at the shock. These kits are very reasonably priced, progressive front spring. They really drive fantastic. And the most important thing, it's not just any shock. This shock has been tuned specific to run with this truck and with this coil spring. So what this has done, it's brought up the front 2.5 inches and it's leveled out the truck front to back. The biggest reason to do this outside of ride quality is to fit that larger tire. So you can fit 35s on these trucks stock. I have quite a few other videos of these trucks with like 285/65 20s. Those are 34.5 inches tall right out the gate. There's a black one on there if you wanted to go check that truck out. So we went with a 37 since he did the 2.5-inch lift. A lot of guys want to run 1250s, which is fine. You can. We did an 1150 in this setup, particularly because Greg wanted to keep the rear tire under the fender as much as possible. So this is a 37 1150/20 Nitto Ridge Grappler. It's 3,900 pounds load capacity, 80 PSI, has all the load specs that you need for your dually. That's one of the first questions we always get. Okay, well, if I put 20s, I'm gonna lose load capacity. And really that ideology really kind of needs to go out the window now. That has changed. There is truth in losing some load capacity in certain wheels, but still retaining it or improving. In this case, this tire is carrying a higher load capacity than what came factory. If you'll notice, on the back side, we still have the back mud flap. We typically would always take this off. For one, it looks better in my opinion. For two, it can create some extra clearance if you're running a 1250 and you got some rubbing issues and things like that. That's the place where you'd start, is you'd take this off and then you do a little inner fender well modification on this truck. Super easy to do. Don't need any parts to buy to do that. But this truck does not need it. Up front, this is all factory here. So we didn't have to do anything there. What is different is the front valance on these trucks. So this one came with the short valance. It's very similar to the Tremor. But you might want to check your Super Duty out. We're starting to see these come more consistently on just the standard models, but this particular one has it. but a lot of them, they're really, really long. So take a look at that. They do affect your fuel mileage, so that is something for you to think about. But normally you're putting big tires, you're not so much worried about fuel mileage, you're worried about looks. And so if you have that long valance, we have those shorter valances available for you to get your front end to look like this if you look at yours and it looks different. Also, what we did in the front is, so being that he drives in Idaho, he's driving on long roads with not a lot of light. He wanted some more light, so this is the Baja Design setup. This is their OE replacement setup. So what does that mean? So basically, the kit's gonna come with the bracket to go in the bumper, the bracket to mount the fogs, the wiring harness, and the wiring harness plugs directly into the factory harness. So there's no splicing, you don't have to run any wires. It works completely off the factory fog light switch, which we really like. The other thing that's different about this front end is the black. So you'll notice a lot of the Super Duties they either come chrome. This one came in like a gunmetal-ish machine type finish. So we went ahead and blacked the whole grill out for them, top to bottom. These little plates, when you pull them off, these little plates come out separate. So you're gonna wanna separate those, otherwise your paint won't come out correct. And then we blacked out the grill. All the camera and everything goes right back together. So simple factory grill, just blacked out. It's a really nice upgrade. We are working on getting some new headlights for the 26s. We don't have any yet, but we do have the 25 and down smoke lights, so something for you to think about. Moving on to the paint, we did the side badges here. So this whole side badge has been painted. This was a factory component. We did the mirror caps here as well. If you do these in your driveway, be very careful. You might be buying a mirror. We didn't break the mirror, but be careful, they will break. And then we got Morimoto smoke mirror lenses. These are really sweet. They light up both yellow, amber and white. So depending, we have all of those options available. The trim around the window is chrome. In this case, it is now black. We've blacked out all the trim along the window here. And that's done in a wrap. The door handles have been painted black. Did obviously both sides. And then the power steps, this is a factory power step. We did not add these, but there is a trim piece along the edge of the step that is chrome. So we took the time, took the step apart, and went ahead and wrapped the edge of that black as well. Moving on to some more details. Up on the back, we did a Morimoto third brake light. Those are really sweet. We have them both in clear or in smoke. That's the smoked version. They also come with or without a camera. So depending what option you have, make sure that we just let us know and we'll get you the right one. The fender badges here. So this is a 4-piece kit, also Morimoto. These are smoked and LED. Really super easy to install, something fun you can do in your driveway right there. If you need those shipped to you or not. We got those. And then going around the back end of this truck looks so good. Morimoto smoke taillights. These are full LED. Again, there's a couple different options when you order these, factory halogen, non-halogen lights. So we'll need some of that information for you when we sell you these. But these look really nice. This is, again, the smoked version. And then the last piece that we did is the back panel. This is really big and obnoxious chrome color from the factory. So we black a lot of these out. So we blacked that out. And then we blacked the Ford emblem out. As far as tire and wheel fitment in the rear, that we get a lot of questions on this stuff. So we want to take the time just to show you what the 1150 sits. So if you come around and you look at the back of the truck here. So again, 37x11.5 The wheel itself is a Fuel D675. It's called the Blitz. This is an all black wheel. They only make this wheel designed to go with the 1250 wide fitment. There's a couple fuel fitments that will fit up to a 285 wide tire, which what that means to you is the rear outer wheel has a different offset. So your inner wheel would always stay the same. The outer wheel would come in 3/4 of an inch from where this sits. That technically would fit for an 1150 wide tire if that fitment was available. This wheel style was not. It's only available in very few fitments. So I'm happy to show you what a 1250 wide wheel fitment looks like on an 1150 tire. To me, it looks correct. If it was up under the truck any further than this, I don't think it would look right. Greg also was concerned about clearance in between the two tires, so it was pretty easy to pick the 1150 tire. If you look down there, you can see plenty of clearance if you ever needed to air down. Or I just took a call earlier today, a guy asking about what if we're going to get rocks stuck in between. Obviously, there's plenty of room for those things to escape. One of the last things I want to show you over here is Ford did a great job in supplying extremely ugly exhaust tip from the factory. It's a big, ugly piece of dual aluminum that normally comes out here. So we've replaced it with an MBRP. This is not just the tip. We do basically DPF back. So just after the def tank back. We're in California, guys. Sorry, we can't do all the def deletes and stuff that maybe you can do in your state. So if you're wondering why, that's why. So one last thing I want to add that we did for Greg is really common question for the dually guys. Most guys with dualies, you're hauling, right? So if you're leveling the front, you are not necessarily losing load capacity, but as far as when you carry that load, depending on how much weight you have in the rear suspension, will decide how good your truck drives. What I mean by that is if you load down the back, if the truck's now leveled and you load down the back and you're driving down a road that has a lot of ups and downs, you're going to feel a lot of play in your steering. Airbags are going to solve that problem. If you have ever been hauling a trailer and felt your truck go up and down, it is super scary, not fun. And you really don't have a lot of control of your truck, right? It's not about tightening a pitman arm or adding a steering stabilizer. That has nothing to do with it. So don't get confused with a loose steering while you're towing with carrying the correct load capacity in the back. So one thing I want to share with you that we did on his truck, it's on my truck, it's on almost every truck we do. If you go look at all of our YouTube channel, you'll see we do a ton of these airbags. This is ReadyLift's brand called LogIQ Air IQ. Okay, now a lot of people are asking us, well, why the dual airbags? What's going on here? So you can see the bracket there, and it's got two airbags. We are really big fans of these for the long travel airbag, not a dual bellow airbag. So you might be used to seeing where the airbag it's one, but it looks like it's sandwiched on top of each other. Instead, it's one single long travel airbag. Okay, so the bottom of the bag allows more travel downwards. The other thing is, being that it's two airbags, you don't have one sitting directly on top of the axle like this. As the suspension travels this way, which it does, those airbags will travel independently. So when you don't have a load, that's really where you're going to see the biggest difference on these. The other side of it is, how do you control those airbags? Level one is you're just going to put in the airbags. It's going to come with the airlines to install, and you can route them back. We typically run them back to the license plate frame bolts so they're hidden. That's step one. Step up from there is choosing your compressor system and deciding if you want in-cab control or not. The air management system also is made by LogIQ Air. There's 3 versions of that. The only difference between the two is the air compressor. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish, meaning do you want to fill up your tires? Do you want to have left to right control, or do you want them to go up individually, just one button? That's how you're going to decide which one you use. There's a $200 price point difference between option A, B, and C being your high end. We typically always do the high end, and the reason is it's really nice just to have that compressor to fill up those tires. You got to choose the high end one for that compressor capacity to be able to fill up your tires. And it does work really well. There is an auxiliary tank that's an option, 2-gallon tank that's an option. We don't typically install those. It's not typically needed, but we have done a few of them, and they do come with Bluetooth control. So it's naturally going to connect to your phone via Bluetooth app. And the last piece to it is the handheld control. So there also is a handheld remote that's available. Majority of guys do want that, and I do suggest it. They're 129 bucks or 149 bucks. They're not much more. But the benefit of that is if you let your friend go fill up your truck, hook up your truck, and he needs to fill up your airbags, if you don't have that remote, he ain't gonna be able to do it. It's that simple. He's gonna have to have that app on his phone connected. So just something to keep in mind, that if you're getting the air management system, I do suggest to go ahead and get the remote as well. And then the last part, the fun part. Greg wanted to be a little, I don't know, wanted people to know he's arriving. So we went ahead and installed a horn blasters system on this truck here. This is a spare tire removal kit. This is hands down our most popular kit, my favorite kit. Really fits up in there nice and clean. You know, yes, you will lose your spare tire. That is the downside. The majority of guys are carrying a spare or finding ways to get around it on the dualies. So I think we should maybe take a listen, huh? She's ready to go home. Anyways, if you got any questions on this truck, give us a call. You can go to duallywheels.com. You can give us a call at 888-505-0987. Most importantly, comment down below. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. What would you do different? Or what do you want to see? Maybe it's your truck. Give us a call. We look forward to talking to you.